Could the Philadelphia Flyers be eyeing yet another young star from the Anaheim Ducks who is feeling discontent? This question is more than just speculation. It touches on the heart of the Flyers' ongoing rebuilding efforts. Since taking the reins as general manager in 2023, Danny Briere has faced a daunting challenge. The Flyers were not in a good place, lacking promising prospects and burdened with a roster filled with overpaid players who were not meeting expectations. Briere has been on a mission to revamp the team, which has involved significant roster changes and trades. In recent years, the Flyers have frequently collaborated with the Ducks in trades. One notable exchange involved the Flyers sending the unhappy prospect Cutter Gauthier to Anaheim, in return for defenseman Jamie Drysdale and a second-round draft pick. Briere maintained a close relationship with Ducks GM Pat Verbeek, which paid off when he managed to acquire Trevor Zegras for a relatively modest price. A bottom-six center, Ryan Poehling, a second-round pick, which was less valuable than the one given up for Drysdale, and a fourth-round pick. These trades have been pivotal for the Flyers, as they have secured 2 top 10 draft picks, Zegras, who was selected 9th overall in 2019, and Drysdale, who was picked 6th in 2020. Both players are expected to play crucial roles in the Flyers' future as they aim to accelerate their rebuilding process. You might think that the trading relationship between Anaheim and Philadelphia has reached its limit after 2 significant trades involving 3 top 10 picks in just 17 months. However, the situation may not be as straightforward as it seems. The Flyers have already acquired the Ducks' first-round picks from 2019 and 2020, and now there's speculation that Anaheim's 3rd overall pick from 2021 could also be up for grabs. Mason McTavish, a talented young player, is among a handful of restricted free agents still awaiting contract agreements this summer. This isn't an unusual scenario for Verbeek and the Ducks, as they have previously experienced lengthy negotiations with both Drysdale and Zegras that extended into training camp. Could McTavish potentially join his former teammates in Philadelphia? If he is indeed available, Briere should certainly explore that option. McTavish has already demonstrated his scoring ability, racking up 140 points, 60 goals, and 80 assists in 229 games for a Ducks team that has struggled significantly. To put that into perspective, he averages about 21 goals and 29 assists over an 82-game season, which is quite impressive given the circumstances. His performance has shown a positive trend, with 43 points in 80 games during the 2022-23 season, 42 points in 64 games the following year, and 52 points in 76 games last season. Interestingly, McTavish plays as a center, much like Zegras. However, while there are concerns about Zegras' ability to maintain a central role due to his face-off skills and two-way play, McTavish has consistently won over half of his face-offs in the last 2 seasons. Standing at 6'1", he also fits the Flyers' criteria for a center, which is an important factor as they look to strengthen that position. This raises an intriguing question. Why are the Ducks considering parting ways with McTavish? One possible reason could be their financial strategy. Anaheim currently has a substantial amount of cap space, approximately $20.5 million, according to Cap Wages, and has recently signed veteran Mikael Granlund to a 3-year deal with a cap hit of $7 million per season. Moreover, the Ducks seem to be making moves aimed at immediate success, which is puzzling given their recent performance. They have brought in experienced coach Joel Quenneville and added veterans Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba from the Rangers. When it comes to the potential cost of acquiring McTavish, things become a bit complicated. James Murphy reported that a team would need to present an exceptionally attractive offer to convince Verbeek to part with McTavish. According to an NHL executive, the starting point for negotiations would likely involve a right-shot top-4 defenseman who has the potential to become a top-pairing player. Interestingly, Drysdale could fit this description, but since he is a former Ducks player, it's unlikely they would want him back in a trade. The Flyers do have another tradable top-4 defenseman in Oliver Bonk, and possibly Rasmus Ristolainen, once he returns to health. If Anaheim is looking for a more immediate solution, a trade involving Bonk and McTavish could be quite intriguing. The Flyers have an abundance of wingers but are in need of centers. A potential package could include an NHL winger along with Bonk or another promising defenseman, plus a draft pick, which might entice the Ducks. At this stage, it's all speculative. Trades can often appear lopsided, but they ultimately depend on what each team is aiming to achieve. Briere's established rapport with Verbeek could be advantageous, especially after successfully completing 2 notable trades. Another consideration is how McTavish would fit into the current Flyers lineup, especially after the team signed Christian Dvorak in free agency. This situation would have looked quite different before that signing, but Dvorak could potentially shift to the wing, allowing him to take important face-offs and contribute in various game situations. Even if the Flyers feel content with their center lineup as the season begins, that shouldn't deter them from pursuing McTavish. He has already proven he can be a 50-point center, a benchmark that only a few players, including Claude Giroux, Sean Couturier, Braden Shen, if you consider him a center, and Kevin Hayes have reached since 2011. Moreover, he has significant potential for further development. If the Ducks are open to considering options beyond just a defenseman as the centerpiece of a trade, the idea of including Jet Luchenko could be worth exploring. Luchenko is a cost-effective, team-controlled center who could be a valuable asset for the Ducks in the coming seasons, while McTavish would bring proven NHL experience and the potential to grow alongside Matvei Michkov. If the Flyers make strides in the 2025-26 season, they could become an attractive destination for top free agents in the 2026 offseason. There are numerous variables at play, and a trade from the Flyers' perspective might make more sense during the season once they have a clearer picture of their roster. However, opportunities to acquire a player like McTavish don't come around often, and Briere should definitely reach out to Verbeek to discuss the possibility of yet another trade.